but I think that what that does internally is probably really damaging. And the biggest thing that I know is that I never thought that this would be
Oh no. Oh no. 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 Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No, music, we tried. But I think that what that does internally is probably really damaging. And the biggest thing that I know is that I never thought that this would be easy. Meghan Markle built her brand around empowerment, kindness, and compassion. But behind the royal smile, insiders say a very different story is unraveling. From whispered nicknames to viral footage rumors, the Duchess of Difficult label is gaining serious traction. Former staffers are now stepping out of the shadows, sharing claims of emotional manipulation and cold treatment behind palace doors. So, what really happened when the camera stopped rolling? Grab your tea, because this might just be Meghan's most dramatic plot twist yet. Music, and when you've been through any level of pain or trauma, I believe part of our healing journey, certainly part of mine, is being able to be really open about it. And I, haven't really scraped the surface on my experience, but I do think that I would never want someone else to feel that way. And I would never want someone else to be making those sort of plans. And I would never want someone else to know. It's hard. I don't think anybody could understand that. But in all fairness, I had no idea, which probably sounds difficult asking because not many people have asked if I'm okay. But it's a very real thing to be going through behind the scenes. Prince or princess not knowing what the gender would be, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security. It was really hard. Look, I was really ashamed to say it at the time and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry especially, because I know how much loss he's suffered. But I knew that if I didn't say it that I would do it. And I just didn't want to be alive anymore. The way the ISIL, so here's the latest storm in Meghan Markle's royal saga. And this one, it's all on camera. Yep. Newly leaked CCTV footage allegedly shows Meghan going off on a staff member in a way that's got people seriously questioning everything about her carefully crafted image. It's not just gossip anymore. It's visual proof. And the internet is not holding back now. People close to the palace have been hinting at this kind of behavior for a while. But now that there's video, everyone's talking. We're talking staff reactions, insider scoops, and the public straight up dragging Meghan for what they claim is the real her finally showing. And let's be honest, when cameras roll, the masks tend to fall. Music, she always talked about kindness, but what the cameras allegedly caught was the exact opposite. That calm, polished persona. It's reportedly cracking wide open, and in its place, a version of Meghan people are calling cold, calculated, and just plain mean. This whole story started the way royal scandals usually do. A whisper here, a look there. But when the footage dropped, boom, full-on chaos. And unlike rumors, security footage doesn't lie. According to those who've seen it, Meghan isn't just having a bad day in the video. She's going off on a female staffer. Not firm, not assertive, but absolutely ice cold. They say her tone stripped away any hint of professionalism. It wasn't a meltdown. It was a moment where the real her character came through. And it wasn't. And get this, former staffers have a name for themselves, not former assistants, not ex-employees. They call themselves the Sussex Survivor Squad. Sounds like a joke, right? Like something out of a royal parody, but it's real. That's the term these people usually use, survivors. That alone should tell you everything. But I do think that I would never want someone else to feel that way, and I would never want someone else to be making those sort of plans, and I would never want someone else to not be believed. So if me voicing what I have overcome will save someone or asks or encourage someone in their life to really genuinely. One source even said they still wake up anxious years after leaving Meghan's inner circle. Apparently, she had a switch. When Harry was nearby, warm, friendly, but the second he left the room, boom, cold as ice. Another insider said working for her didn't feel like a job. It felt like servitude. And no matter what you did, it was never good enough. Even the undergardeners, yes, gardeners weren't spared. One source claimed Meghan once snapped so hard at one of them that even the Queen had to step in and scold her. And while the public saw this image of compassion and poise, those working behind the scenes were reportedly walking on eggshells every single day. And when you've been through any level of pain or trauma, I believe part of our healing journey, certainly part of mine, is being able to be really open about it. And I haven't really scraped the surface on my experience, but I do think that I would never want someone else to feel that way. And I would never want someone else to be making those sort of plans. And I would never want someone else to not be believed. So if me voicing what I have overcome will save someone or asks or encourage someone in their life to really genuinely check in on them and not assume that the appearance is good so everything's okay, then that's worth it. I'll take a hit for that. And let's not forget what one critic brutally pointed out. They said Meghan and Harry don't just whine to the press, they whine to everyone. British media, American outlets, even their own staff. And now people are finally seeing why insiders have been calling her Duchess difficult for years. Things behind the scenes were way messier than Meghan's public image ever let on. Rumors started flying about chaotic group chats, last-minute crisis meetings, and a work environment where everyone was tiptoeing around her 24/7. One story really stood out. Meghan allegedly forced her team to rewrite the same email 14 times. Each version getting ripped to shreds with cold, sarcastic comments. Yikes. And it didn't stop there. The gossip reached all the way to the Queen herself. Apparently, after hearing complaints, including one from the head gardener, the Queen personally stepped in and gave Meghan a talking to. Yeah, even the Queen had to lay down the law. That's how bad it allegedly got. Inside palace walls, it wasn't a secret anymore. People knew the unspoken rules. Smile, nod, and whatever you do, don't challenge Meghan. Because if you did, you weren't just let go. You were erased. In Meghan's world, loyalty wasn't earned or valued. It was demanded. And the moment you didn't play along, you were gone. Times, dinner, and tournament. It was like that. Like I curtsied as though I was like, music, pleasure to meet you, your majesty. Like, was that okay? It was so intense. According to those who worked with her, Meghan just wasn't good with staff. Whether it was people she hired, florists, or anyone just doing their job, they claimed she had a habit of treating them with coldness and condescension. One insider said she acted like a TED Talk in public, polished, passionate, all about compassion and mental health. But once the cameras were off, a whole different vibe. Former aides said the sweet charity girl Meghan was not the same woman who was snapping fingers behind closed doors. Time to age, that's what I call them. Yeah, it's not enough to just survive something, right? Like, that's not the point of life. You've got to thrive. You've got to feel happy. And I think I really tried to adopt this British sensibility of a stiff upper lip. There was Meghan the actress, and then there was Meghan, the boss. And, trust me, those two personas were nothing alike. People who dealt with her said she always made herself out to be the victim of everything and everyone. One source even said flat out, I wish her luck because she's going to need it. Her team, they developed this internal radar just to survive. The moment she walked into a room, they had to read her mood like their job depended on it because it literally did. One wrong move, one poorly timed sentence, and suddenly the whole room went cold. Conversations turned tense. Instructions became brutal. One former aide said they didn't just fear messing up, they feared being humiliated in front of everyone. And it wasn't just about yelling. She had this way of rolling her eyes mid-sentence, cutting people off, or making passive-aggressive jabs that left you feeling like you got paper cuts to your soul. One assistant admitted they cried in the bathroom almost every week. Another described Meghan's management style as emotional terrorism wrapped in luxury fashion. Ouch! Now, fast forward to Meghan's life post-palace, and guess what? She still can't seem to hire people. She's reportedly been trying to fill a CEO role for her new lifestyle brand, but 5 weeks in, no takers. That's right, no one wants to work with her. And remember when she and Harry left the royal life with a bang? They had Netflix, Spotify, explosive interviews, a docu-series, everything. They promised a new era of authenticity and healing. but now that whole empire is looking didn't realize she would have to do. But as far as curtsying to the Queen, come on. I mean, she was supposed to have done a degree in international relations or international studies. You know, you collected to the Queen, you bow when you're in Japan. There's certain things in certain countries that are marks of respect. And if you have done studies in international relations, then you know, she should know that, and as if Harry wouldn't have said, here's how it's done. Like he may not curtsy. I don't know what he does to the Queen, but I'm sure he's seen a curtsy of 10,000. Meghan's lifestyle brand, Riviera Orchard, has been trying to fill its CEO position for over 5 weeks now, and still no takers.